Thanks for checking out this movie review video. So this is for the 2021 film The Beta Test, and when I'm doing this review, it's available for streaming on the Hulu streaming service. I do recommend this one. Go ahead and check it out. This I ended up watching because one of the writer-directors, I had seen another film by, I think, the year prior, and really enjoyed that one. So I was like, let's give this one a go, and I really enjoyed this one as well. And actually, I think I'm going to end up rating them about the same if my recollection is correct. But just so you know, since this is a 2021 film, it is relatively new, so no spoilers in this. Although thematically speaking, I usually do give some spoilers there. And my synopsis, I'll give a little more than I usually do, but that's because it happens, what I'm going to tell you happens very early in the film, and it's not the point of it, really. Written and directed by Jim Cummings, who also did No Flood Wall here, Thunder Road, which I do want to see, and The Wolf of Snow Hollow. That is the film I was talking about that I highly recommend, The Wolf of Snow Hollow. Very interesting, very unique take on wolf-type stuff. Definitely check that out. And I also have a review for it on my channel. You can check that out. Also, no spoilers. Also involved was PJ McCabe in writing and directing, and that individual was an actor in the Wolf of Snow Hollow, and is also an actor in the beta test. Apparently, this film is actually based on the Eros algorithm, spelled E-R-O-S. I'm not going to go into any sort of explanation on that in case you want to be totally blind as to what's going on with this. But if you really want to, you can kind of look it up, Google it, whatever. Quick synopsis. So this is about an individual, the main character, who is an agent in Hollywood, like a talent agent, a la Ari Gold from Entourage, which is referenced. He's referenced once, and it's like, it's not like it's portrayed in Entourage. But yeah, it's kind of funny. So that's his job, and he ends up getting these letters that are inviting him to a hotel, basically, to have a blindfolded tryst with a woman for the night. He ends up giving in and doing it, and then he becomes kind of paranoid about, well, who was it? What's really going on here? These, random letters actually do feel it's kind of suspicious after the fact. All stuff probably should have thought about ahead of time, but, sexual urges, everyone. So anyway, it's then this individual's mission to kind of figure out what's really going on. And that's the mystery of the film. And it is good. It's quite good. It's very engaging. Excellent directing and shot choices right off the bat. Based off like the first sequence before the title card, that it's going to be shot extremely well and it's going to look really good. There's some really interesting, really inspired camera movements and camera shots in it, especially like the opening shot is very interestingly done. I love the way that's framed, and Cummings did a really good job with The Wolf of Snow Hollow, and it's no different here. Obviously very talented when it comes to directing, but also very talented when it comes to writing, and also very talented when it comes to acting. So triple threat, Jim Cummings, triple threat, which means I will watch anything you put out. I'm just saying. I'm going to do it. I'm a fan. Also, I follow Jim Cummings on Twitter, and it seems like a really interesting, cool guy. Just going to say that. He's thrown some interesting, industry tidbits of knowledge out there over time, and I've just been interested by what he tweets. Holy crap, the opening scene. Wow. I'm not going to say anything other than that. It is... I'm not going to tip my hand as to what happens in the opening scene, but yeah, it was... it definitely hooks you quickly, and it is surprising, and enjoy. Because, like I said, watch this. They definitely set up a compelling mystery very fast, and I kind of already told you what the mystery is, but there's also the audience aspect of knowing more than not too much more, but a little bit more than what's going on with the actual character himself. So, just mysteries all around. There's a quirkiness to the film, which actually was another thing that's present in The Wolf of Snow Hollow, which I think it's cool because, even though some of the stuff is mysterious and it's kind of thriller-ish, and there's horror aspect to it as well, it also keeps it feeling light and fun at the same time. And I think the quirkiness, a lot of it has to do with the way the characters deliver their dialogue, especially the way the main character, played by Jim Cummings, delivers dialogue and acts. He's very like high energy and a little bit goofy. They also inject a little bit of humor here and there, but it's humor that really works extremely well. Like a lot of times humor can be thrown into a film that's not a comedy and it can feel like speed bumps and it kind of like jars you out of what's going on. This doesn't do that. It's just like little bits of humor that stuff's like kind of funny or like medium funny and you just appreciate it. Like it flows very well. So once again, going back to what I was saying, that Cummings very good at writing. And obviously PJ McCabe, we don't want to forget PJ McCabe. I'm saying Cummings primarily because the style, writing wise, like the writing style seems very similar from The Wolf of Snow Hollow, and that was just Cummings who did that. So, but I'm sure PJ McCabe, contributed a lot to the film, writing and directing wise. Otherwise, their name wouldn't show up that way. I'm not a huge fan of Jim Cummings' style of acting because he has a tendency to skew a little Jim Carrey-ish, be a little bit ridiculous, be a little bit goofy. Now, that said, I get used to it and appreciate it once I get involved in the film. So, like, I'm not a big fan when it starts, and that's the way it was with The Wolf of Snow Hollow. His character started going, and I was just like, I'm not really feeling this acting style. Like, it's a little weird. It's a little too Jim Carrey-ish. I'm not into it. But then as the film went on, I just settled into it. Like, this is what it is. I settled into the character. It made sense for the character. And it's played exactly the same as the character he played in The Wolf of Snow Hollow. So there's not a lot of range there. It's basically the same character. But it works for the story that's written. So, yeah, and like I said, continues to add that quirkiness and funness to the film. So I think it works extremely well in The Wolf of Snow Hollow. I think it works even better with the beta test, to a small degree better. But yeah, anyway, I just say that to say his acting may be an acquired taste for people. And initially I didn't like it. And as soon as I start watching one of his films, I'm put off by it immediately. But then I settle into it. I'm like, oh, okay, I just needed to get used to it again. So that's kind of, how it is. There are some curveball moments that pop up that cast some suspicion on the reliability of the main character himself. I like when those types of things pop up because with this film and a lot of films, you're seeing from the perspective of this character. So once you get these kind of like little things, and I'm not going to tell you what they are, that kind of make you start to question some things, it kind of like broadens what you're looking at and how you're considering things and just how you're thinking as a viewer in general. I already talked about the humor, injected quite well. Another thing about good script good script writing. There's a good atmosphere of paranoia that gets created and maintained, and that stuff's not hard to do. Like the way it's partially the way that it's shot, a lot of how it's acted, and it just all goes together. Oh, plus the music, which the music's done quite well in the film. It all goes together to just keep this atmosphere of paranoia, which really drives the story even more and keeps you even more engaged, and then makes you feel what basically the main character is feeling while he's trying to solve this mystery. This kind of like, who was it? What's really going on here? And just being, paranoid about the whole thing. So there's a really socially uncomfortable scene in this, and it's great. Like it's done really well because it's very cringy, but then it also becomes a little bit funny because it's so cringy. And that's just another little aspect of that comedy aspect. I said aspect too much there, but But I love that scene. Like, it's a wonderful scene. And you'll know what I'm talking about when you watch it. Or if you've already watched it, you know what I'm talking about. That one, like, very cringy scene. There's a monologue at the very end of the film that plays out like verbal diarrhea. Like, literally plays out like verbal diarrhea. It's Jim Cummings just going blah, 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 like rapid fire saying all these things. And like the way it hits you initially, you're just like, whoa, what is going on? Slow it down. But if you're listening to it, like it is adding so much. It's actually very engaging, and it's basically giving you everything you need to kind of wrap up the film and the theme and what it's trying to get at here. So it's kind of a very cool monologue for that reason. Like I said, like initially it's like verbal diarrhea, and then I started thinking like, it put me off a little bit, but then when I started like super listening, I was just like, yeah, okay, this is actually really good. And then it made me start thinking this may have been, well, may have been, it must have been extremely hard to get that down. And Cummings does a great job because, learning lines is tough enough, but learning a monologue like that and delivering it that fast, got to be really hard. I said this about The Wolf of Snow Hollow, and I'll say it about the beta test. The script is so tight. Jim Cummings knows how to nail pacing. Pacing is awesome in this film. Pacing was awesome in The Wolf of Snow Hollow. I am amazed because so many films, I see so much fat. I see so much fat on the bone, or so much fat on the meat that needs to be cut. And with his films, at least the two I've seen now, I don't see it. It's not there. He's very good about making these scripts as lean as they should be and just taking the amount of time he needs to tell the story. This film's like an hour and 33 minutes, and it just, like that, it just goes by. Pacing is wonderful. I praise Jim Cummings as like the pinnacle of what I've seen as far as someone who can nail pacing, at least recently. So, just saying. Good job, Jim. This weaves a messed up conceptual web that will make viewers have anxiety about your online behaviors. Just saying, and that's all I'm going to say. It made me start feeling that way, I'll be honest. Through this film, you just feel the pressure of life bearing down on the main character. This is kind of, a little bit partially that aspect of that atmosphere of paranoia, but just the whole story in general, the energy that the main character's putting out, where the events go, all that stuff. Like, you just feel this pressure along with this main character to a point where you feel like you're gonna burst in a sense, and that's, really good filmmaking. Last thing I want to say about this, there's an underlying theme of reconciling who we are in our daily lives versus who we actually are as people. There is this whole kind of thing about, it's kind of a little bit similar to something I said in my review a long time ago of Assassination Nation, which is an amazing film. You should definitely see it. It's about kind of the private online you and the public, usually fake-ish you. Because, you put up these appearances, you're a certain way when you're meeting people you don't know or people you have to work with or, deal with on a daily basis, whatever. But online, it's gone. Like, you're a totally different person a lot of the time. So it's reconciling kind of those things. But very interesting film. Really did enjoy it. So out of 5 stars with half stars in play, I'm giving it a very good 4-star rating, which I believe is what I gave The Wolf of Snow Hollow. But someone can tell me. Go watch that review of mine and come back and comment and let me know if it's the exact same. If it wasn't 4-star, I think it may have been 4.5, but I think it was 4. Anyway, would love to hear your thoughts on this film if you've seen it. We can go ahead and talk spoilers in the comments. Go ahead. Just know, spoilers in the comments, people. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you in between? Or if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. Come back. Make a comment. Let's talk about it. I am very much into what Jim Cummings has been doing. And in this case, PJ McCabe as well. So awesome. Also, if you just want to talk about horror stuff in general, go ahead. Do me a quick favor, though. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, you're awesome, and I appreciate that. If you haven't, it is quick, it is painless, it costs you no money, and it is your way to say thank you to me if you like this video or any video I've ever done. Not making money doing this at this point. I'm just doing it for creative outlet and just to build a nerdy horror community here. People I can actually talk to about horror in a nerdy way, because where I live, I can't do that. So join the group. Give me some motivation with your subscription. Also, hit the notification bell button, and that way you'll know when I'm putting up new videos, which I'm doing, I was going to say about 4 a week. I am doing 4 a week. Sometimes it's a little bit less on very rare occasions. Sometimes it's a little bit more. So, yeah, I think that's pretty good. But anyway, regardless, I really do thank you for taking your time to check this video out. And until next time, keep it brutal.